Time to talk to Aiden Morris from the U.S. Men's National Team. Aiden, how are you?
I'm doing well. We're in Mexico now, so excited for the big game.
Nice. Don't eat too much tacos. We've had bad experiences with tacos. Too quick, too excited. I hope you guys aren't eating tacos.
No, we're behaving.
Nice. All right, man, talk to me about the game. First game under Poch last Saturday against Panama. How did you feel? How did you like this new system? Tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's early days. It's tough, you know. You work with such a talented coach, and he has to fit it in the span of 4 days before your first game. But I think the main thing was just a competitive piece, and I think you saw a little bit of that against Panama the other day. I just think the energy was really good, and obviously things aren't always going to be perfect right off the bat, but I just think if you can get the energy and the mentality right, man, I think we'll be onto a good track.
Aiden, can you talk to me about your performance specifically? I thought you stood out. You know, you were one of a few players who really were playing on the front foot and looking to always go forward. How has that transition for you been? Because, you know, in the earlier U.S. Men's National Team days, maybe it was a little bit slow or the game was too fast. Now it looked like you were setting the tempo.
Yeah, in any new environment, man, it takes time. You know, and that was something that was one of my goals this year, was be able to put together more consistent performances with the national team. And I think I've been able to do that. And even last night, you know, I felt like I played a good game, but I felt like there was so much room for improvement, you know, and I think just tidying up some things, and it's still room for improvement for sure. And yeah, I'm glad you guys thought that way, but you know, me, I'm always looking to grow and be better and hopefully help this team as much as I can.
Well, speaking of your role in the game, I'm very interested to know what was the approach with Poch, because he likes that double pivot, right? What did he tell you? All right, Aiden, this is what I want you to do during the game. This is our main focus with you next to Gianluca.
Yeah, it's kind of more of not a distinct role, I guess he would say. It's more of like a free-flowing, you know, do what the game gives you, you know, and provides to you. So I think you see it, Busio and I, we were rotating through different positions, and then just being able to adapt, you know. Sometimes I was wider left, sometimes he was wider right, but then always having a good passive shape in case we lose the ball and being in the right place. So I think just kind of giving us the freedom to find the game and do what the game needs of us. Nothing in specific, though.
So now, looking forward to Mexico, what is going to be the setup for that match in particular? I know the demands might change, the tactics, are they going to remain the same? Is he going to try a different formation? How would your role change, if at all?
Yeah, spoil our secrets here. I don't know. I think you'll still see the same energy. You know, I don't think tactically maybe you'll see a little bit something different, or maybe you won't. You know, but I just think the energy piece is the main thing he preaches to us, and showing up right there with the right intensity. And you guys know the intensity that these games provide against Mexico. So I think just the mentality piece is the most important thing.
Yeah, well, we're very excited to see what the U.S. brings in El Clásico, right, of CONCACAF against Mexico. Aiden, let's talk, though, about your club form, about your experience at Middlesbrough, man. You look like a more mature footballer in the handful of games that you've got now that you're playing with the U.S. Like Charlie did mention, it looks like you have something different to your game. What is that something different that maybe you picked up in England?
Yeah, I mean, England's been such a cool transition, but I don't want to put too much shame on the MLS and Wilfred and Columbus, man. I'm not too much of a different player I was 3 or 4 months ago. You know, the transition's been amazing. It's been a dream of mine to play over there, and just the intensity of things over there in the league, and the 90+ minutes of hard tackles, being focused. It's a different level, but you know, I give a lot of credit to Columbus. You know, they set me up for this opportunity, and MLS and the intensity, you know, it's not far off.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Columbus, and you played under Wilfred Nancy, and I think you had a great relationship with Darlington Nagbe. Now you go to Middlesbrough, you're playing for Michael Carrick, who was once a great midfielder himself, with, I guess, your favorite former club, Manchester United. So now, what are you learning from Michael Carrick? How have you picked his brain? How has he helped you continue to develop?
Yeah, when I first got there, I told him, I said, hey, man, I'm such a growth mindset player. I always want to learn. I always want to grow. Be nitpicky with me. Tell me everything you can, all the details. Because I mean, all you guys know he had such quality. He played at the highest level, but just little things, of momentum. And a lot of times we're playing games where we have the ball for the 90 minutes and how to break down a low block and stuff like that. I've tried to pick his brain with that. And yeah, just little things, man. He's such a good person, so composed, right mentality. But yeah.
All right, speaking of legends, I want to kind of pick your brain and roll back the clock. Aiden Morris has a 10-year-old, let's say. Which footballer was he looking up to? Who did you have? Whose Panini sticker did you want to collect right before the World Cup?
It's a good question, man. I was a little bit all over the place with players I enjoyed watching, but I think it was probably, because that Manchester United era was probably Paul Scholes.
Okay.
Kind of those
What
two
a
guys.
player.
What a player.
But hold on, he's 22. You don't tell me that you remember all those Champions Leagues. Aiden, you must.
Of course I do, man.
Come on.
My dad used to pull me out of school to watch those games.
YouTube. When I was growing up, I didn't have YouTube. At least he could go YouTube. He could probably watch it on demand. I didn't have that. So.
Oh, I was watching Scholes, man.
Yeah. So what do you miss the most about the U.S.? Because we all have those moments. You leave to go to Europe. It's something you always dreamed of.
He's been gone for like 2 months.
Yeah,
bro.
but I'll tell you right now. Is it a barber? Is it food? What do you miss the most?
Just family, man. It's just home. That's the simplest way to put it. Every time I step back in the States, man, it just feels like home. And obviously I got a new home over there, so I love it over there as well. But it's just the energy I get, man.
FaceTime.
So,
Come on, it's so easy with FaceTime these days. I had
what were you
Skype,
expecting?
dial-up Skype and say,
What answer? This guy's got his head on his shoulders. What answer were you expecting?
I don't know, some piece of Midwest food. I don't know.
At least he's in Mexico having tacos now, right?
Yeah. I mean, Columbus to Middlesbrough, right?
That's unbelievable. Yeah. Aiden, all right, thank you for your time, and good luck in the Mexico game. We're really looking forward to it.
Thanks, guys.